Hello, Nomad Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the Nomad Gamers podcast. I have the lovely Fireball 123D today, along with Zanar Crestrider and myself, Kaiser Chunkus, and today we make up
You
your
almost
Nomad
forgot your name.
Gamers. Yeah, I did. Fuck you. And we make up your Nomad Gamers for today. I want to give a great big shout out to our YouTube viewers. Thank you so much. Please keep liking, subscribing, and commenting. It helps us out so much. I don't think you guys even can understand how engagement drives us to want to do more. We love seeing people interact with our content. So thank you for that. Moving on to our Facebook viewers.
I was going to say,
a
I'm
great
taking
big
a look.
appreciation. I believe we're stagnant right now at around the 82 mark. However,
84.
84. We are not stagnant. We got two more.
We got two more, baby.
We're so close, man. 16 more. Like we just need
before
16
we can go live.
more
16 more before we can go live
for you guys on Saturdays. That way, you guys can interact with us as we're in the moment, and it's not an afterthought or anything like that. So, like, share us, follow, comment, everything. Push us into the algorithm. Push us into people's front pages, home pages, and all of that. Please, thank you. I want to give a shout out to, I don't know why I'm looking over there, like that the chat's right there or something. I want to give a great big shout out as well to Fireball's viewers on TikTok, Instagram, Kick, MySpace, just all of the socials he has.
I gotta do a wide brand of socials just so that way we're getting somewhere.
It's a big net, yeah.
Yeah, big net. Also, I want to bring something up before we jump into it. Crestrider, is that a World of Warcraft background?
Yes, it is.
I kind of figured so, because I remember I used to be a very huge ore miner.
So, Chungus and I were talking about it before you got in here. This is my favorite location in World of Warcraft, and since I have a green screen, I might as well do it. So I think what I'm going to do is every time I'm on here, now that I can do this, I'm going to change the location where I'm at.
That'll be awesome, actually.
Unless I forget.
Hey, we got 4 people watching on Twitch already. That's
nice.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
And
just
Chungus,
say hi. Yeah, what's up?
If it makes you feel any better, every time you look that way and are gesturing over there, that is actually where Fireball's Twitch chat is on my screen. So,
good. Awesome.
He's not the other one watching the chat.
Yeah, thank you for that, because my dumbass will completely ignore it by accident. Yeah. So just it's been a minute since I saw Crestrider, because I wasn't here last Saturday.
Oh.
I mean, that's not my fault.
Hey, internet giveth and internet taketh away. Just saying.
The gods of the Ethernet.
Yeah, tell me about it. No, but Sweet Kitty Pie, can you give me a rundown on what you guys talked about last Saturday, talking about the Switch 2 and indie games and stuff like that? So I wanted to talk a little bit more about indie games, because again, you're getting so many indie developers right now, whether it be one man developers or small team like Arrowhead. Hold on.
Chungus.
Yeah, just making sure. Well, did you hear on why I had a chat ban for a very long time?
No.
On Twitch?
Yeah, I wonder why he did. Who knows?
So this man, one time while I was streaming back, let me pull it up real quick, because I can pull it up on my stream manager.
No.
But this man went into my chat and started just naming off every slur he could think of.
He didn't set any chat filters. That's not my fault. I was testing as a moderator on his channel. I was testing to see if he had set up the proper.
You do realize, filters. As a moderator, you have the ability to add into that stuff.
No. See, it's a test, right?
You're not supposed to test. You're supposed to verify.
No, I did verify. I did. He didn't.
Not while you're lying.
I have verified that he did not.
So 2 years ago, he just started going down the list of slurs he could think of, and I had a 2-year chat ban.
I'm surprised you didn't ban him from your.
See, I told him
Twitch.
to do that. It probably would have looked better a bit, you know.
I didn't realize it until 2 years later, after I was getting close to the chat ban being done.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I'm not a moderator, so all I can do is be like, "Hey, Chungus is being an idiot in your chat again."
Yeah.
It's not like I've got any ability to stop him.
Right. But yeah, that's like, did not know. Didn't know about it until I started getting back into streaming, and I'm like, why can't I get my chat to link up with my my Streamlabs? And then I finally started looking into Twitch, and it was like, this is how much time you have left on your chat ban. And I'm like, when the hell did I get banned? So I started scrolling through my my stream manager, and you see at the very bottom of everything just the I think it was 8 different words he used.
Don't.
I'm not gonna say
He's not
the
gonna
word,
say them. Don't say them.
but
Yeah.
it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11.
Send me
11.
a screenshot of that later. Oh, by the way, Chungus,
Yeah.
we totally beat last week's record of time until ADHD.
You're absolutely right. I don't even think we got like 2 minutes in before it
He was
shifted.
midway through the second sentence. Veered off topic.
Oh goodness. And I know what I'm gonna ask him a question. I know what he's gonna say. Hey, did you take your medicine, man?
No.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. There it is. There it is.
I'm thinking of just things to talk about before we jump actually into.
You were
what we're
halfway
talking
through about talking about indie developers.
You
and the
you
Switch
literally
2.
started talking about indie developers and shifted towards your chat, man. I don't. He's right.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Jesus
you're right.
Christ, dude.
My bad.
Jesus.
Hold on, I'm sending these to Crest Rider real quick, just so he can take a look at
Okay.
just a few that he said.
Well, we'll circle back around to indie developers. So we
Indie
can-
developers, real quick.
Yeah. I just want to talk about this real quick because it's big news, and I think this should be the first thing we talk about. Get it out of the way, rip the band-aid off. The tariffs are no longer going to include certain electronics, which is including smartphones, computers, and other chipsets and things of that nature.
So you're telling me the Switch
we
2
shouldn't-
might actually go down in value?
No,
No,
it's still going to
because
be $450.
Yeah.
Nintendo
It's
came
not-
out and said that price point was not factoring in any tariffs.
Tariffs. It would have been like $600.
So, It would have gone
Yeah.
up, but
Yeah.
if they actually go through with that
Oh my God.
exclusion, then it won't affect the price.
Yeah.
That's
So we'll see on that. Dude, it's bad. It was gonna be real bad. Like that's why I was like, probably not gonna Switch for a while. I'm not
No.
paying Switch. I would never pay Switch.
I'm not
I
gonna
barely
pay
want to pay
$600.
$450. I don't think I'm gonna pay $450. I'm gonna wait like 2-3 years for Switches to be used and go down in price. That $450 is a little ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's insane.
I just wanted to let's get that news out of the way, and so we can get to talking about some more fun things.
Oh, I know how we got on me talking about my Twitch chat. Because you and I both saw his message come up as I was talking about indie developers, thinking we had somebody to talk to, and it was him. And I was like, oh, yeah, speaking of him. That's how we got on that. But you saw the messages, right, then, Chris
Yes.
Ryder? Yeah.
They weren't that bad.
We need an outside source telling me.
I literally
I mean-
love how quiet it got. That was the loudest silence I've heard.
Without
in a
getting
while.
into specifics, a couple of those were words that it's only okay for one of the three of us to say.
I wonder who that could be.
So Nintendo did post something yesterday. The first batch of invitations for the pre-order for the Nintendo Switch 2 will go out starting May 8th.
Yeah,
So
I
they
heard about
delayed it
that.
by a month almost.
And I love the fact that they're doing it this way. However, The price point that they're coming out with the Switch 2, I think, is a little high for the Switch 2, considering what other consoles that there are out there
Oh,
at the same
yeah.
price.
You know what they said in response to that?
What?
If you can't afford a Switch 2, just get yourself a Switch.
Yeah. Okay. But
that is what they're telling people.
It reminds
But
me
the
of
thing
fucking
is, I
Blizzard
love-
saying, if you guys don't have, you guys have phones, don't you? I will never forgive them for that, for fucking Diablo Immortal. My God, that was so tone deaf.
Now,
But,
these pre-orders are on Nintendo's website themselves, which they're going
Right,
to have
but
their...
this is the best way I think that they are going to be able to fight the scalpers, is going off of the people who have Nintendo Premium or have the Nintendo subscription.
And,
They get
and
first
that's what I
dibs
was
at
gonna...
this.
I
kind of just stole your
Yeah,
thunder, but-
there's a little bit of runaround on the Nintendo website, like you're saying. You have to have a Nintendo account. You have to have purchased Nintendo Switch Online for at least 1 year and clocked in over 50 hours of gameplay on your Switch. You also had to have opted to share gameplay data with Nintendo from the privacy section of your account, which might bite me because I usually say, no, you can't have my data. But I'm not particularly worried about getting a day one, so I don't care.
Again, I know Godfather, in fact, is going to do everything in his power to find a Switch on day one just because he wants that Mario Kart.
Yeah.
He's like, have you ever played Schedule 1? This is the best way I can kind of...
No, I haven't.
So, in Schedule 1, if your clients get addicted enough, they will literally run up to you and say, hey, I haven't had a fix in a while. Can you help me out? That's how Godfather is with Mario Kart. And it's like, this man, he is fiending for Mario Kart. He's like...
He's itching, he's scratching.
Yeah, he's itching and scratching, and he's just like...
Does he have the one for the
Yeah.
Switch?
Yeah.
He wants the new
Yeah.
one.
Play that!
He wants the new one. He wants the new one.
So he wants to drive around in front of Peach's castle and then go tear up the garden on his way to the next track, next town over.
Correct.
Yeah. He is itching for Mario Kart because he wants the new one, because there's 24 driver races,
Does he have 24 or 23 friends that can play?
No, but he's literally he wants to get the 24 bots, or maybe the 21 bots involved, of getting and jumping me and Chungus and laughing while he's like 100 feet in first place, or 100 yards in first place.
So he just wants to get blue shelled by twice as many people.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because you can do custom matches on Mario Kart, right?
I don't know. I haven't played a Mario Kart in...
There's a difference between custom matches and a private match. Custom, you can change rule sets and things like that.
Yeah,
Private,
like you could go into a private match and change rule settings and stuff like that. I want to one time, and hopefully he's not seeing this. Just make sure. I want to one time get a Mario Kart match set up without him knowing, and the only thing you can get from the only thing you can get from the item shop or from the items is blue shells.
Which would be really funny if the guy in first place has it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fire this off, and then it just...
They should invent like a black shell or purple shell that goes to last place. And if you're in first place, it goes all the way back to last place to hit the guy in last.
That's
because
DM.
Because
what
what you need when you're in last place is to just get fucked even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part of Mario Kart. Because you got those people that will sit in last place just to get all the good items.
Yeah, like you.
Now, you know what would be funnier is if when you attacked the last place person, it literally lit their exhaust on fire and gave them essentially a rocket boost. But if they didn't overtake 5 people, then their car would explode, and then they just...
It's just Irish music playing at the same time.
Okay, so there was one item in Mario Kart Wii that I absolutely hated, but it was so great when you got it and you got it off on somebody at the last minute. The Thundercloud.
Yeah.
Oh, shrink everybody and run them over?
No. If you picked up, you would hit an item box, and if you got the thundercloud would stay above your car, and it was on a timer. If you didn't pass it off to somebody else in time, you got electrocuted and shrunk.
So how did you pass it? Running into somebody?
Yeah. You got to run into somebody to pass it along.
That'd be pretty funny. Real quick, and some news just about game release dates and things that we've talked about before. Mafia: The Old Country release date is apparently to be August 8th. It was leaked from a non-edited PAX East presentation announcement. And the potential release date, it aligns with rumors of GTA 6 launching in the fall, as I say rumors, because until they say it is 100% in the fall, which they have, but more specifically in the later end of fall. It's probably a strategic move by Take-Two to avoid, overlap, so GTA 6 doesn't just fucking crush everything else that comes out around then.
You already know.
It's gonna be.
You already know GTA 6 is going to crush anything and everything.
Exactly, which is why Take-Two's like, hey, we have this other game, Mafia. Play that too. Play that first, and then play GTA 6. So that's looking to be a good year for them. I'm not gonna lie. He muted. That's alright. I know why he muted. But no, that's just Mafia 4, basically the fourth Mafia game. God, there's been a couple. It's insane to me to think about that. The Mafia games are. How old are they?
They've been around for a while. I've never played one, so I'm not well versed on the Mafia games. But I remember seeing them in stores for some time. Let's see.
I think it was like 2008. Excuse me.
The original Mafia game.
2002.
2002. Yep.
Holy shit!
All right, sorry about that. I got a delivery to me.
Yeah, you're good.
Where's my delivery?
You're a little too far away for that.
You're an hour ahead of us for trying to be in the same time zone, when you actually should be in the same time. Oh my god, same time zone.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. You fucked up enough.
He's in the future.
He is in the future.
No, you guys are in the past.
Maybe.
No. The deliverer did not see the message on getting you one, Chungus, so you don't get one.
Oh, that's crazy. You said you were gonna call them.
I did.
And
apparently it didn't go through on her. I called him twice.
Sorry, I'll just go and I can't say that. Never mind. I'll just leave that one be.
At least you're being good.
Trying to.
No, but
anybody got anything? Because otherwise, I'm gonna start
circling back around to
Okay.
indie developers. Finally, I'm like, I love the fact that we. Hey, hold on! I got something from, I believe, YouTube, or either YouTube or Twitch. Is there anything on Twitch you see, Crest Rider?
Nope.
Okay, then it was on Twitch or on YouTube. Somebody sent something. Somebody's like subscribed or something. I couldn't see it in time. Oh, yep, there it is. Dime37. Thank you for following. Well, back to what I was saying about indie developers. I'm glad to see we get these indie developers, even though they're like one-man teams or they're a small company like Arrowhead. It is great to see that there are still games out there, or there are still developers out there that are doing it for the love of the game and not just to make some quota.
You can always tell when the developers have had a chance to just do their thing versus when publicists, media people, and all of the upper management pressure has forced them to cut corners to get something out quicker.
And even then, I'm just gonna shout it out. Shout out Schedule 1, because that game shows you that you don't need to have top of the line graphics in order to make a great game.
No, you never have. Graphics are nice because they look good, but it's not needed all the time. It's just not.
No, I get that.
I mean, there are indie titles out there like American Truck Simulator, or like Terraria is an indie developer, Stardew Valley, Overcooked. I mean, these are indie titles, and they're phenomenal. They're great.
I mean, look at
Project
that
Zomboid.
new one that's just digging a hole in the ground.
Oh yeah, a game about digging a
What?
hole.
Minecraft?
Mm-mm. There's literally a game out there just called A Game About Digging a Hole.
Well,
Yeah, it's super cheap, and apparently
it's only $4
people are
too?
talking nuts
Yeah.
about this thing.
Ooh,
Yeah, and you can spend
that looks
hours on
fun.
it. Yeah. Every
get to
man's
dig a
dream when they
hole?
go to the beach. Yeah.
Add to cart. Continue shopping.
You're
Don't worry about me.
welcome, digging a hole developer. It was just
You
one dude
made
over, I
nothing
guess, a
sell.
couple of weeks made this thing.
But
You can dig that
again,
hole so far though. Yo, okay, that's not. I'm not gonna lie. I might waste some time in that. I'm not gonna lie.
There's some
Chungus's
big
inner dwarf
creators.
is coming out.
there are some
Oh,
big
yeah.
creators that have wasted like 4 to 6 hours of a stream just playing the game.
You want to know what's
And
a
it's
very
great to watch.
like? You remember Geometry Dash?
Yeah.
Fireball. That's also in the title. Which I mean,
Geometry Dash is an indie title?
yes.
Oh.
You got to realize a lot of the games that we've like touched on and just played a little bit of are mainly indie titles, and that's because again, it's either small person teams, right? They're not backed typically by big development studios or anything like that. It's just, excuse me, small teams, and they're working on a passion project, and it shows a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's I will say it is.
Man,
And,
yeah,
like-
I'm just looking through them, like I'm just seeing all of these. I'm like, man, these are all.
He's like,
The-
man, this game about digging a hole really looks
These price
enticing."
points that
Shut
Nintendo's
up.
pushing out. No, listen. With the way that the price points
I'm listening.
are going, if the other consoles and publishers and stuff all start doing the same thing, they go, oh, we can get away with $80 or $90 a game when we just went up to $70, and they start doing that, it's going to become
Right.
the indie market.
And that's
Because
like,
nobody's going to pay for all of these top price, AAA titles that are buggy, broken messes half the time when they launch, when they can go get $5, $10, $20 game and get their fun out of it in many ways far more creatively, but they're going to get a lot more bang for their buck.
yeah. And that's the one thing that like, and I've always agreed with the whole games should have dynamic pricing. Like, a game like GTA 6, I can understand being $70, $80. A game like
Nope.
Assassin's Creed Shadows should be like $50, $40, $50, because the higher a game company can like, the more prestigious a game company has of having success, like Rockstar does, versus a game like, or versus a studio like Ubisoft that's literally throwing a Hail Mary trying to stay alive, there should be different price points for that. With GTA 6, you're going to have a better time when it comes, you're going to get more time out of it, and you're going to have a better time than like a game like Assassin's Creed Shadows. And hold on, excuse me. I've played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I've also watched I have watched an entire playthrough, about 40 hours worth of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I will say, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft did a great job considering this was their last-ditch effort to stay alive. I know my opinion when it comes to the game is very not with the common, or not with the greater public, but I believe they did a really good job when it came to Shadows.
So I kind of agree on the dynamic pricing, but I also kind of disagree. Mostly on the basis of microtransactions. Because microtransactions are starting to become anything but. They're just becoming macrotransactions.
Well,
Did you? Hold on,
But they're
fun fact,
also
real quick.
expecting you to pay. Hold on that one. Let me finish this before I forget. They're expecting you to pay $70 for a game, or up to $120, $130 for its Ultimate Edition, and then they lace it with microtransactions anyway. If they want to put microtransactions in the game, which GTA has them. Pretty much every Ubisoft game has them. Most games have some form of microtransactions. The launch price should reflect that.
And I believe, this is the one thing that I've always really said, because like you said, there's a difference between microtransaction and macrotransaction. Look at a game like Call of Duty and Fortnite. You spend $30 on a damn bundle.
I was thinking Diablo, where you're spending $25 on a single armor set.
Do you guys want to know?
Hold on.
No. Because this is
my thought. So, God damn it, I just lost it. Damn it.
Okay, cool. So again, as I was gonna state, you guys want to take a guess as to the how much gaming revenue in 2024 came from microtransactions?
Are we talking percentage or value?
Value.
Oh,
billions of dollars easily.
Oh, easily. Yes.
I want to say 17 billion.
I wouldn't even begin to know where to guess.
Low.
It's got to be over 100 billion.
And this is, by the way, this is only counting the PC market. In 2024, microtransactions on PC gaming totaled around $24.4 billion.
Oh, that was way lower than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be like 117
that's just on
or
PC.
something like that.
So if we're gonna go into the console market as well, I would assume this is probably easy, like 100 billion from microtransactions.
Okay, think about I remember what I was gonna say.
Buying V-Bucks and stuff like that and whatnot. And it's, excuse me, I'm really burpy right now. Spending on quote-unquote premium games dropped by 2.6%, which only totaled to about like $10.7 billion in 2024. And we all, I mean, I don't know if you know this, Fireball, but I know Crest Rider and I do. Most PC gamers prefer older titles or stick with older titles longer. Just because, one, they can. And two, it's just because they're good. Why would I buy the new Call of Duty when this one works perfectly fine on this system? You don't have to, I get the whole thing, but I just didn't know if you knew.
But back to what I was going to say, talking about the difference between
remember,
microtransaction and macrotransaction. Look at Fortnite alone, and look at Call of Duty. They've got $30 bundles. Hell, Fortnite just dropped the Sabrina Carpenter bundle.
What?
Yeah, they just dropped the Sabrina Carpenter bundle where you can.
I'm not surprised because they did Travis Scott and who else? Eminem. Yeah.
But again, it's on the fact that and this is like, I don't care for microtransactions. It's okay for a game to have microtransactions, but the best game to have microtransactions, I think, was Black Ops 2 when it came to their their special camos. It was $2 per camo, and it was unlocked on every single gun.
I will say this. I do wish that the special blueprints or anything like that would be on every gun. But looking at the price point compared to what the quality of said gun skins are now, for Christ's sakes, you have guns that turn people into different effects, the tracer effects plus death effects, sounds that go incorporated with it, animations on the guns themselves. Like, I'm gonna pull something up real quick, just to show real quick. Call of Duty.
Okay, while he's pulling that up, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say though. But like, go back to Black Ops 2. The number one special camo bought was weaponized 115, and that was one of the best. Like, it was a camo that it wasn't a stationary camo, because like if you moved around, the camo moved with it, and the effects of the camo moved with it. That was a great camo. That was a camo that 12, 13-year-old me wanted to get, but I couldn't get it because my parents were like, no, you can spend your money on something better than that.
And they were right.
Yeah.
They foresaw the future of a new Call of Duty every 9 months.
Right. But still, I choose to go back to like the old Modern Warfare 3, the old Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops 2 more than I've played Black Ops 6. I think I grinded out the first month and a half of Black Ops 6, and I haven't touched it since.
Valve recently released some statistics. I don't remember exactly what the percentage was, but the number of Steam users that were playing a game released in 2024, so playing something that was released in the same year, was actually like really low. We're talking only like
that's because games now
%, somewhere in there, give or take a little bit.
Because games from, I want to say, 2020 to now have gotten really, really bad. I can only count on a handful of games in like this decade that are actually really enjoyable to play. Otherwise, they're very tedious, and I do not want to download them or play them.
Because the goal is not so much to have fun anymore as a gamer. The goal is for the developers to make a lot of money. So all they want to do is release. They'll throw something out there and then promise to fix it.
I wouldn't say it's not all just the video game developers' fault, because you get competitive games like Rocket League, you get competitive games like Siege, you get competitive games like Call of Duty, Valorant, CS2, where everybody's like, or even Fortnite, where they're like, oh my god, I need to go, I want to go pro in this, I want to, and then they start like quote unquote training and, you know, having to sweat in inconceivable forms in order to actually play that game and be good at that game. Like, I believe we are almost, the death of casual gaming is coming.
It already happened.
Well,
it's why single player games are getting more popular again. Because multiplayer games is
the death of casual gaming is it's you know, being a kid, and this is for me and Chungus, being a kid and being able to just come home after school.
He was a kid too. I mean, what?
Well, casual gaming was still very prevalent.
When I was your guys' age, I could go to the store, pick up a game. It would not connect to the internet, and I would just go home and play it.
I was gonna make an older joke than that, but I'm gonna be nice.
Well, playing in the arcade, fucking against people.
I'm not quite the age of your parents, remember?
No, just plugging into the TV and playing Pong.
That's old.
Pong was out well before I was born.
I know, but that was the old joke I was making.
Yeah.
But actually, the death of online casual gaming is like, I miss it, because you used to be able to come home, or you would get through school, you'd get on the weekend, you'd be like, oh, I can play with my friends now. You all would jump online to, like, let's say, and this is gonna sound, we're not that old, but you're about to hear this, hop on GTA 5, or hop on Black Ops 2, or hop on Black Ops 3, or hop on games like that weren't that, like, you didn't have to sweat your balls off to play it. And just be able to enjoy playing games with friends, and then realize you look down at the clock, or you look up and you see your dad getting ready for work, who works first shift, getting ready to go do overtime, and you're like, oh shit, is there already that time? Like,
so, just for reference, GTA 5 has been out for almost 12 years.
Yeah. But again, the how fast casual gaming, casual online gaming, I should say, has spiraled downhill is just, it really makes me sad, because now, being the age that I'm at, getting off of work and be like, I want to come home, play some video games for a bit and relax. I can't play the same games now, because I'm not relaxing when I play the games. I am literally hunched over in the concentrated position, having to play against four little Timmies with TTV in their bio.
Do you want to know?
Clan tag. And
you want to know why that is?
Why?
The death of casual gaming started to come around when Twitch, YouTube, and other content creators got very big and started voicing their opinions, giving everybody the meta loadouts and the best strats to use, this and that. When back in the day, before everybody had access to the internet, easier access to the internet, you had to figure that shit out on your own. There was a lot of experimenting to do. You literally had to put the time and effort in to be good. You couldn't just go.
The old
You can't just
schoolyard rumors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I could literally go and Google best gun to use in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and I will get a breakdown of literally damage statistics, best attachments to use, perks to run, and all I have to do is put that shit on, and I'll be able to still fight against other people who are probably better than me, but I'll have a bit of an edge over them, but just to keep up. It's stupid. And I hate when people say it's SBMM, because it's not. Skill-based matchmaking has been a thing in Call of Duty for a long time. I'd have to look it up, but I don't know when they added it. But it was like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 is when they had SBMM. We've had it for a very long time. The issue is the fact that people are ranting about the meta loadouts. Kids are looking at that. That's the content people want to see because they want to be just like fucking Nade Shot. They want to be just like Scumpy. They want to be just like Shroud, Like, it's stupid. Nope. It's annoying. It's why I've stopped going and playing competitive multiplayer games, unless it's like CSGO or Valorant, because at least those games have always been that competitive, and there's a rank system to it, so you actually do get matched with people who are, there's not meta things. That is entirely skill. It doesn't matter what gun you use. You could use a pancake in some of those games, and you'd still be able to fucking come out on top. Ooh, excuse me.
Well, there's a cultural shift too.
Yeah.
Some of these games, Call of Duty started coming out. I was just about out of high school.
Call of Duty, the first Call of Duty came out in what, 2000?
2001, 2000. Yeah.
But again, I was in high school at the time. Now you're talking about children who have been playing these games for as long as they've been able to hold a controller. And I'm not talking hold it well, it fits nice in your hand. I'm talking they can pick it up, it sits in their lap, and they're barely able to reach the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been playing it constantly since. And the pandemic saw a lot of this because parents were working from home. So the video games were babysitting the kids because the parents needed to focus on work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
It's just what it was.
A lot of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got these kids who have known almost nothing except electronics, and that is where their entire focus is. So they're naturally very good, but they also have a higher expectation of action because they're so dopamine driven. They don't understand anything slow-paced and relaxing. Like, there is a game that I am very excited to come out next month that I don't think a lot of the younger people are going to be able to enjoy because it's very slow-paced and mellow.
What's the game?
Fantasy Life I.
Oh.
The one I linked in Discord that nobody bothered to look at.
You know what game really and I think this is something that we can kind of segment into next, but you know what game really makes me just relax when I play it? The old Mud Runner series. Or Snow Runners. It's where you get big truck, you take big truck, you drive, pick up materials, and you have to drive through mud and not get stuck and take it somewhere else.
So swap out big truck with school bus, and that's what I do for a living. That's not exactly my idea.
But you also live in a snowy tundra, so it's like...
I will say this, I'm gonna, it's not like outing myself or anything. The most fun I've had in games recently has been stuff like Schedule 1, which is a bit different, right?
Oh, I'm absolutely in love with that.
Management-based games. I'm just gonna read a couple of the games I have in my my Steam library that I absolutely enjoy playing. If I can scroll down, Banana is one of them. You just click on a banana and collect bananas, and you get a lot of bananas.
I've heard some controversy over that.
Is it like Cookie Clicker?
No.
It kind of is, but it's also dropping skins that people are buying and selling like crazy on the Steam store. So it's kind of created its own artificial market where people are actually making money off of this.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
And the developers are just inserting new banana skins and retiring old ones just randomly on a whim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard about
pretty.
It's so great.
Pretty stupid. It's funny. It's funny though. That's my point. Like stuff like that. Like that is just again my guilty pleasure games like that, where it's brain dead stuff. Then I also have supermarket simulator, fast food worker simulator, truck driving simulator. I have a lot of the simulator games. It's just like
So my
nice
go-to
relaxing day after work. I hop on and I go and work at the bodega in the corner store.
I can't say too much. My brainless just I'm gonna play a game chill one is Power Wash Simulator.
That's also a good one. House Flipper is also good too.
Yeah.
Oh
House
my
Flipper.
goodness.
No, another one of my favorites to like brain turn off is for some reason is Helldivers 2.
That my brain doesn't turn off. It dopamine is that's a dopamine game right there. That gives me too much dopamine to turn off my brain.
No,
See, and every time I play with these guys on Helldivers, their brains don't turn off. They just get smeared across every nearby surface.
Yeah, correct. 99% casualty rate, victory, baby.
And then
That's
when we play with Godfather, my brains get smeared over every nearby surface.
That's because Godfather believes in friendly fire.
No, he knows it's not friendly. He just doesn't care. He's like Commander Shepard.
And you'll find out real quick if Gaz is watching, because now he's going to start talking smack.
Yeah.
Danger close? Nah, I don't believe in that.
Nah.
Or me when I just accidentally turn on your hell bomb. Accidentally.
You say accidentally. I don't believe you at all.
That's why I let it
accidentally. It's why every single time I let it explode, kill us. I don't care.
No, Power Wash Simulator. And then it's so funny is Power Wash Simulator actually has a story to it.
Yes, it does. And it's actually kind of cool going through and reading the messages that you get, because if you don't pay attention to them as they pop up, you can go back and look at them later when you finished a particular job and read through everything that's going on. And the nice thing is all of the DLCs have the same types of messages, but they're fitting for the one, like the Final Fantasy 7 ones are all in universe, and you can kind of tell what's going on in the Final Fantasy 7 game based off of the messages you're getting. Like you're cleaning a little model, and he's talking about Avalanche and what they're doing, and then when you're cleaning the giant destroyer robot, they're talking about terrorists attacking one of the reactors, and as soon as you finish, they're like, oh, hey, sweet, we're gonna send this thing out right away to go take care of them. And then you start the next mission, and they're like, oh yeah, that thing totally got destroyed.
Jesus.
But no, like, again, most of these like simulator games are indie dev, and it's just like sometimes I feel like you'll find more people on indie games than you will on mainstream games, and it's quite nice to see that we're starting to make that switch.
Well, you gotta realize people don't like the hyper competitive nature of things. I say people. Most PC gamers don't like that type of stuff.
AAA games no longer mean AAA quality. It's AAA price. AAA microtransactions.
AAA live
nothing.
Service. It's always yeah.
Push the live service because we want that next big money printer. And if it doesn't make hundreds of millions of dollars, it was a failure. If it only sells 1 million units, which is a lot of units. There was one not too long ago, sold 1 million copies of the game. They called it a failure because they put so much money into developing these games that selling 1 million units is still a loss.
Overproduced. They're overproduced. And I know, the market is what it is. And, I'm not saying us three particularly, but we are gamers. We are part of the gaming industry in that regard. We're consumers of it. So we are at fault as well, the consumers to a degree. During COVID, influx of not going out and doing things, disposable income that got pushed into the gaming industry, oversaturated the market with shit. We allowed devs, and I understand the initial year, learning to work from home, that type of environment, people got to get adjusted to it. But we gave them too much leeway, these companies. We gave them way too much leeway and allowed them to take the easier routes for things. And now here we are afterwards. What, 3 years after? 4 years? Yeah, 3 years after? And they're still, people work 5 years.
Or
it, it, as he catches
Oh
his
my
breath
God.
at the realization, it also doesn't help that most game development companies are publicly traded, and therefore the investors in their everlasting search for perpetual profit, perpetual growth, they're always pushing the companies to put out the next big thing. So they're always on time crunch because they've got to make that next quarterly thing to get the profits for their shareholders, or they don't make the money and then they get shut down, which indie developers don't have because most of them don't have any kind of investor. If
Well,
they're
because
lucky, they've got.
they're doing it on their own time, and not most of these guys
They're
are
doing
not
it as a
doing
hobby. A lot of them.
I was gonna say, not it's they're passion projects. They don't do it as a job. Their job, it's literally they go do their 9 to 5, come home, maybe relax a little bit, doing some coding, some things for their game, and then that's it. It comes out when it comes out.
You get lucky and you make Stardew Valley.
Our Terraria,
Well, now you just got
one,
yourself a job because you just got handed
Yeah,
a buttload of money,
because
and now people expect you to support the game.
what's so great is so there's a big the creator of Schedule 1 has come out and said, I did not expect for this game to pop off like it did, and he's like, okay, so now here I was never gonna make any updates to this game. It was just as is. But now since you guys love this game so much, here's a roadmap of updates I'm thinking about bringing to the game. So now he's like, he set
That
out
is the other thing is indie developers are much more likely to listen to their player base and actually communicate back and forth, work out ideas, and then go in to implement some of those ideas.
Because I think
they're not just going to say,
I will say this:
we've heard you, and then go do what they want anyway.
So, just to talk about a game that has made the biggest comeback of this century, No Man's Sky launched in 2016, and it just failed on all fronts, right?
And I have played it since day one.
And legitimately, it didn't deliver on what it promised for a lot of people, and I get that. The amount of updates and just free expansions that they've given this game, they legitimately put out more it's crazy. If you go and see that game now, from launch to now, night and day difference. Indie team, Hello Games, they made this. Legitimately, it's crazy how much that they've put effort into this, and people just want to give them money. They're just take my money. This is awesome.
Take my money, funny man.
Every single time you have things like these indie teams and things like that are releasing free content, it's dude, no, let me pay you. I want to give you money to support you even further, instead of these AAA studios like fucking Activision, who releases slop in a bucket and people just eat it up anyway. Come on now. They have fucking Silent Bob and fucking whatever his name is, and as bundles now in the Call of Duty Fortnite.
No Man's Sky, towards the end of last year, was very happy to announce that they had reached 80% positive ratings on Steam. They are now in the very positive category.
Yes. And it's looking at everything
from
done,
overwhelmingly negative.
They deserved it because it was super negative.
Well, talking about super negative, I want to bring up Schedule 1 real quick because we kind of covered on this last time. Did you hear about the fact that Schedule 1 is getting sued for copyright infringement, Crest Rider?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They are getting sued by, I forget who they're getting sued by.
The
but they're
devs
saying,
of the drug simulator.
Drug dealer simulator.
Yeah.
DDS. And the overwhelming amount of players have went over to DDS's page on Steam, has wrote extremely negative reviews. So all of a sudden, you just seen DDS's rating scale go from slightly low to down.
And the claim is from DDS dev is that it's not malicious. They don't really want to do this lawsuit, but they have to, because if they don't, and the similarities get discovered or anything like that, they could be charged with negligence on their end, not doing the due diligence.
They're saying there is no lawsuit. There is an investigation into the nature of similarities between the games. However, we are obligated to perform this investigation and act accordingly. So yeah, they're. I mean, if you want to get technical about it, it's kind of true to nature. You got two drug dealers on similar territory.
And you know what's crazy? I mean, you could say that if GTA 5 had a bit more interactability with the way that you deal drugs and sell them, instead of just pushing a button on the computer and it just people start making it, right? I feel like they would also fall under that umbrella of, well, you're dealing drugs. You can't do that. That's copyright. That'd be a little
with
stupid.
GTA, you're less out on the streets actually peddling and just you're the truck driver. You go A to B.
But that's what I'm saying. If there was that level of interactability with GTA 5, that's my point. Is like that's not really copyright. It's just a similar type of game. That's like saying Battlefield and Call of Duty are infringing on copyright on each other. They both star in wars. You have soldiers fighting each other. There's weapons you can use to shoot people. And then there's a huge difference there with Battlefield, like destructibility, vehicles, and whatnot. So,
but still, it's like.
Sorry, better comparison would have been Medal of Honor and
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Or the SOCOM games.
I miss those so much. Especially on the PSP, dude. I had that SOCOM game. Oh my goodness, SOCOM 4.
But no, like, and what's so great is the developer for Schedule 1 has said they can do this investigation all they want. Here's the roadmap that I have for updates coming out. You're getting 3 more different products. You're gonna have to start. You can start
more properties.
More properties. You can start a war with the cartel. You can pay off the cops. Here's some different maps locations we're thinking about doing. Cops can now raid your compounds. And like,
no, I've seen this.
I'm so here for it. What did he share?
Huh?
What did you share?
No, he shared the Fantasy Life I again.
Yeah, he reshared it.
No, I shared in the PC General tab of our Discord the listing on Steam. This is a new trailer that has since dropped.
It's from Nintendo
it's
Direct.
a Nintendo game.
Well, so the first one came out on the 3DS. And they had a sequel that came out mobile.
Is this going to be on Switch 2 or is this coming up on normal Switch?
It will be on the original Switch. It will be on PC. It will be on Xbox, and it will be on PlayStation.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
It's being made by Level 5, but it is not a Nintendo exclusive. Speaking of Nintendo, there was one thing I wanted to add that did come up in the last week that they have clarified. Games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that have upgrades for the Switch 2. If you purchase a new cartridge for the Switch 2, it's not going to come with just a code to upgrade the original Switch version. It's going to have the full game on the cart.
Okay.
So, now obviously if you purchase it digitally and you already own the game, it's just gonna upgrade, what you've got.
Oh, brother.
What'd you see, Chungus?
I'm looking at the upgrade edition for the Breath of the Wild. You just said this, right? It won't include the DLC.
Oh, will it not include the DLC?
You will have to do it separately.
That's a dick move.
Dude. Imagine having to pay $90 basically for the full. It's a $90 price tag for the full experience of Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2. By the way, this is like upgrading it and DLC. Yeah, the reprint. Yeah. That's crazy. That game came out in 2017, by the way. That's insane.
That was a launch title for the Switch.
That was a launch title for the Switch.
Gaming companies again, like
people are gonna let them get away with this. That's the issue.
I know. And again, us as gamers, we need to hold these companies. I know, and a lot of loyal. I wouldn't say loyal customers, but a lot of loyal fans will sit there and lick the corporate boot of these gaming companies because they're like, "Oh, I love it. I will support you no matter what." And it's like they're the main reason why they can get away with it.
Like I said last week, I have been playing Nintendo games all along. I have had most of their consoles over the years, with the exception of the Virtual Boy, a Wii U. I've had everything else.
You skipped bad, really bad. The Wii U was also not that great. Wii U was not that great.
I love Nintendo games. I have been, like I said, I've been playing them since I was a kid. They have brought me some of the most fulfilling gaming that I have had in my life, and it's been some of the stuff that I have been able to introduce to my kids as they've grown.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero intention of purchasing a Switch 2 anytime soon, because the amount of goodwill that they have built up over the last 30 years isn't enough to justify
and I think
poor decisions now.
I think the other big thing that they're kind of capitalizing on is the fact that they are the only real company to have a good handheld in the market right now.
I mean, Steam.
Might I introduce you to the Steam Deck?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
you could. There are PC titles you can play on the go. That's kind of insane if you think about it. Switch can't do that.
And the Asus one that's coming out.
Yes, the Xbox. It's going to be for Xbox.
Aren't Steam Decks like very limited in like quantity?
No,
you can go buy one right now if you wanted to.
For some reason I thought Steam Decks were very limited in quantity.
It was when they first were coming out, because it was a new thing.
Like any console, they sell out the instant they come out initially, but after the initial rush, the Steam Deck's been out for a couple of years now, so
the Steam Deck
they've also had an iteration of improvement on it.
I want to state this as well. There are different prices for the Steam Deck depending on which ones you get.
Damn.
You get the lower tiered one, which is like the 200 something gigabyte one, and it's LCD screen. It's whatever. You can get the like $550 one, which is like 512 gigabytes, and then get the terabyte one, which is OLED. So is the 500, which is like basically $800. It's $650, but after tax, it's probably 700 something bucks. It's 7.4-inch screen, 90 hertz refresh rate, which is better than some people's monitors already. It has Wi-Fi capable, Wi-Fi 6E. You get about like 3 to 12 hours of gameplay on the battery, depending on the games, because some games have more intense power demands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I just got a text message on my watch. Comes with a carrier case, and you get bundles for stuff like that. But even then, you buy that, you can get a docking station to hook it up to your TV. So your initial entry fee is going to be a bit more than just the Switch. You can also do a lot more with it, though. Like, you can play Baldur's Gate, The Binding of Isaac, Skyrim, Slay the Spire, Split Faction, Hades, Stardew Valley.
That is also the difference.
Devil May Cry, Cyberpunk
console versus PC gaming.
Elden Ring.
Hold on. This is another thing I will say, and this is something that like I will always stand by, because it's even if you don't want to spend $100 or you don't want to spend that much on a Steam Deck, and you've got a capable enough phone to be able to do that, go buy a Backbone. And then I bought a Backbone for $100, and I pay $60 a year for the Backbone subscription service.
Oh,
and then I have. Hold on.
Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
And then I have access to not only Xbox Game Pass games, I also have access to my PS5 and whatever game I can second screen on my phone and play whatever game. I could play Helldivers anywhere I want on my phone, and then I could play any other game I have downloaded to my PlayStation on my phone. I mean, I don't have access to Steam like the Steam Deck, but I can still play hundreds, if not thousands, of games from just off that $100 Backbone, $160 Backbone.
Yeah, so you want to know what games you can play on the Steam Deck that you wouldn't be able to touch on when you have to stream. These games are not being streamed. These are games you download and can play, like Red Dead, Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3. So it's not reliant on you having a Wi-Fi connection anywhere. You can download these and take it on the go.
I don't need to have a Wi-Fi. I
You
don't
have to be connected to you have to stream, so you have to be connected to mobile data or Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I can stream from my mobile data, and if you've got a good enough phone service, you can do that.
Let's put it this way: you're on a plane. Can you play then?
Plane Wi-Fi. Actually, yeah, I believe so.
You can't use your data on a plane.
Plane Wi-Fi.
And you have to pay for that.
No, you don't.
You do have to play the certain, depending on which airline you go with. You do have to pay for the the Wi-Fi package.
Oh.
So again, that's why I'm saying like that's not a bad thing if you're casual about it. But if you genuinely like gaming and gaming anywhere or any possibility of not being home for long periods of time, the Steam Deck is a great investment because every game you've listed about being able to play, you can play on the Steam Deck if you already own the game, and if not, you can buy it for the Steam Deck. And more than often than not, those games are already on discount because it's a Steam Deck. You can play Hogwarts Legacy on the Steam Deck. I'm just comparing it to the Switch is what I'm doing, and it's like Switch has exclusives. It's Nintendo. That's why you would get it. But I don't. The price point, man, is a bit rough. That's all.
Just a bit.
Just a bit rough for the Switch. Yeah, that's a bit rough.
Right, so go ahead.
A little bit of an ADHD moment, something that I saw that made me chuckle. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is currently 20% off on Steam.
Yeah! Hey, Firebox, favorite game. Go get it, buddy.
I'm going to do things to you off camera.
When Chungus gets on next week and has sunglasses, you'll know why.
I'll just, just to not implying anything or anything like that, but I'll put it up to the camera. Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can't because the lighting's kind of bad. So let me do this. Let me just do this real quick. Hold on. Oops. Sorry.
I don't think that's something you want to put on your.
No.
You see that? You see that? Yeah. Come at me, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. Take a trip to the house.
I think I need to go before I'm classified as an accessory.
No, it won't be that bad. Just in the kneecaps.
What I'm gonna say is
gonna get your chat banned?
Yeah.
I don't know about chat, maybe video or whole channel.
But with that being said, I think it's we're getting around that time.
Are we?
And yeah, we are. And I think it's about ready for us to sign off. Man, I can't believe an hour's already passed.
Yeah. Well, why don't you take us out then, buddy?
Alrighty. Yeah, great discussion today. I'm glad to be back and talking with Crest Rider. He's always a great person to have around when we're talking about things. I do apologize for not streaming this week. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was planning on streaming today, but me and Chungus are going to be working on the
Shire.
On the Shire instead of streaming. So I will we'll pick up on Tuesday again and hopefully go from there. I need to find somebody that will play Schedule 1 with me.
Just play it at better hours, man. I don't know what to tell you. Don't be on third shift.
I mean, it is great hanging out with the guys. Be nice if they'd actually be around to play some games with sometimes. But as for the having conversations with me, sometimes it's easier when you don't just shout me over all the time. But
I'm a little feisty today.
You guys are always feisty.
I'm not always feisty. I'm not always feisty. Not always. Sometimes. Most of the time. 80% of the time, I'm feisty. So kind of didn't do time management pretty well this week, and gonna have to delay those videos. I'm sorry. They are still getting worked on. Don't worry. Listen. You can't rush quality. All right. I'm not like these other dev teams. I want things to come out decent. All right. For the pleasure of the consumer. Right. I'm trying to be the good I want the world to be. Right. Be the good you want to see in the world. So that's what I'm working on. I expect them next week instead. I'm sorry.
Quality does take time.
It does.
What's your excuse?
Huh? Motherfucker. Fuck. My excuse.
Hey, I had to inject a little bit of Godfather into it.
You did. That's why you're bald. Fuck you. I don't know. That's the only thing I have. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Take us out of here, Fireball. Get us out of here.
Well, good chat. It was great talking to you guys. You guys know who I am. Don't really need to say my name because I get made fun of every single time I do. But talk to you guys later.
I'll look this way. You ready? Ready to go?
I mean, I'm always ready to go.
All right.
Vincent, our Crest Rider, signing off.
And this is Kaiser Chungus.